Hi, this is Simone from Chocolate Audio, and we are here to show you the Chocomatic Series engine for Kontakt. What is it about? The Chocomatic Series engine is basically an engine that we created to fulfill our dream of dealing with audio phrases in Kontakt and overall in production. So basically, the engine allows you to select any of the collections that the release comes with. In this case, with Uproar, we have 6 different collections. Each single collection can feature up to 4 different parts. As you can see, each single part can feature up to 11 different harmonic contexts, which are triggered by these black keys on the first octave of your MIDI keyboard. So I mean the C1, B1 MIDI octave. Just to show you, I'm gonna load, for example, the Bumpy Road. As you can see, Bumpy Road has features 5 different tonal contexts. Let's get back to Tension, which is the first collection. It's 104 BPM and it's available with 4 harmonic contexts in E minor, C major, D major, and A major. These are all triggered by C1, D1, E1, and F1. The remaining 4 octaves, so from C to B5, are dealt with selecting actually what's gonna play for each single part. So the second octave is dedicated to the first part, the third octave to the second part, the fourth octave to the third part, and the fifth octave to the fourth part. Each single part can have up to 11 variations. These variations are basically, different versions of a particular kind of groove or sound that one might have. So you can switch in real time between these. The Bs are dedicated to stopping the parts or stopping the engine. So B1 does stop the engine. The other Bs, B2, B3, B4, and B5, are dealing with stopping the actual part from playing back. The engine will allow you to basically balance between 2 different sources. In this case, we will have the amped version and the DI version of each single part. You can either balance or go fully amped and fully DI, and you can also direct every single channel to a separate output in Kontakt, so you can basically mix it outside of Kontakt or reamp it or do whatever else you want. The effects page deals with the send levels to the 3 effects available. In this case, in this release, we have 2 reverbs with the same set of impulse responses and a delay. You can bypass the sends by clicking on the send button, and we also have a tremolo, which is also bypassable, where you can set basically the depth of the tremolo and the speed, which is signaled in inverse way. So 12 means that the period of rotation of the tremolo is 1/12 of a bar. Getting back to business, let's take a quick look at the advanced page, where basically you will control how the player interacts with you. Playback timing sets basically when the player will react to your instructions, let's say, to what you're playing on the MIDI keyboard. So it can be immediate or next 16, next bar, and so on. Trigger mode will set how the player reacts. So a latch mode, I'll give you a quick example, will basically play and get on playing as soon as you press any one of the trigger keys on MIDI octave 1. Temp, on the other side, will only play as long as one of the trigger keys on the MIDI octave 1 is active. So in the case of the sequence that you see now being played back, it will sound funny. Okay, The other important thing is sync legato. Sync legato is a neat feature that basically, this is one of the main reasons we wanted to build our own engine. Uh, basically, once you start the engine with a trigger key, every time you press another key, the phrases will not start again from the start, but will basically play in a legato fashion. So we'll take on the phrases from where they were left on the former variation. So this works both for the tonal context and also it works for the variations, as we will see in the demo. So let's hear the guy in action. So here we have a sequence where we have C1 and E1 on the first bar, and then E1 and F1 on the third bars. As you can see, there are events also for the second, third, and fourth and fifth octave, which means basically that we are dealing with triggering also the single parts. So we are telling the engine what to play and when to play it. So let's start with a very simple example. So I will mute everything but the first trigger, and it will play something like this. Okay, so that means that we are playing in the E minor context, and we're basically playing the first variation of each single part, because we all of the parts have the C as a reference. What else we can do? Well, we could stay in the same harmonic context and create some variations. So, for example, I could say we are doing something like this. Okay, so what happens here? Well, basically each single bar gets the first, second, and third part that gets switched on the bars. So there are variations to each part playing back for the first three parts, whereas the fourth part gets switched on the offbeat of the first first quarter in the second bar, and on the fourth downbeat of the fourth bar. Let's listen to the fourth part, what it does. I will switch off the remaining parts temporarily by clicking on the B1, B2, B3, and B4. So this is the result, which might be really interesting. Let's add something to the game. So let's add the change of harmonic context. So I'm unmuting the D1, E1, and F1. And let's go ahead. So this will be the result. Pretty funny, yeah? Let's also get to the main parts played by the low end of the guitar. So the first and the second part. I'm going to unmute these, and I'm going to mute with the B5, the fourth part. So it goes like this. Pretty interesting. But this is pretty much it. I hope you will enjoy this new series and the first release in this series, which is Uproar, based on a 8-string baritone guitar by ESP, played by Gianluca Ferro. So thank you very much for following me through this quick walkthrough, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.